guys, and welcome to another Creme de la Creche, a cooking class for toddlers. Today we're going to be making ladybugs and caterpillars in a cocoon, which is made typically from crescent rolls and green peppers and chocolate and strawberries. So we're making our crescent rolls from scratch here. So to start, you're going to want to dump 1.5 cups of flour, as you just saw Vivie do, into the bowl. And we are going to go through this nice and slow for everybody so that they have everything. We're adding some more dry ingredients here. So we're going on to our granulated sugar, and we're adding 1.5 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And along with that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of dry active yeast. And you'll see me here, I dump everything into the bowl for Vivie to give her the opportunity to participate. And then we can also, of course, allow them to scoop their own materials if you're feeling especially confident. But with baking, sometimes I like to have a little control here. So we're just measuring out that salt, and that's going to be 3/4 teaspoons of kosher salt that we're dumping in there. And then I'm just going to give her a fork here, and I'm going to let her stir all the ingredients up, which keeps her occupied for just a little bit. I'm trying to get my arms around what is up next. We're actually using a recipe from a great blog called Baking a Moment, and a quick kiss for my little sous chef here, my little pastry chef. So I'm gonna run into the fridge here and grab our chilled butter, and we're going to work on cubing that butter and making sure that it's nice and cold for when we roll everything out here. So I bust out my knife. I like to leave the packaging on to start because it makes it easier to cut. But I'm using a whole stick of butter here, which is equal to a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And again, we want to keep that cold. It's really important when you're making dough to keep your butter nice and chilled. Otherwise, you will have a really hard time rolling out your dough. And it actually took us a little too long to get this all put together, because you'll see later in the video we actually have a little bit of a hard time ourselves. Vivie's trying to eat the butter. I have to explain to her that it is not for eating, although butter does make everything better. That is for sure. So we're just breaking up those independent pieces. Vivie's having fun poking them with her fork and mushing them into the flour. I have to stop her again from eating the ingredients. She really loves just to taste everything, which is, I think, fun. It makes it fun to cook with her. So I continue to break up those pieces, and if you're cooking along with us, hopefully you are also breaking up those pieces and putting them in with your little chefs. She's finally got the hang of it that she can't actually eat the butter, so you start to see her break up those pieces and throw them in. And now we are going to take our pastry cutter and work in all of these pieces and start to kind of get them in. My bowl is too small for my pastry cutter, so I actually just shift over to a larger bowl here and get to work getting those in. Vivie wants so hard to be able to do this with me, but this is definitely a mama job as we work in all of the dough. So take your pastry cutter with just even strokes throughout the bowl, get in there, and you're looking for pea-sized dough, basically, as you're working through your dough. I kind of show you towards the end of this what that looks like. So just keep on working your dough here. And here's a shot of what it looks like, that kind of little teeny crumbly pieces. That's what you want. And now we are going to move on to creating our liquid portion of our ingredients. So I bust out my bowl here, and Vivie and I have been practicing cracking eggs at breakfast, so we're working through that. I bust out an egg. Huevo, we're practicing our Spanish as well. And we come over here, and whoop, there we go. And we open it up. And she loves it. She just thinks that is just the coolest thing. So she knows that now it's time to mix the egg, whisk the egg, and I'm gonna come off to the side here and add our next ingredients, which is gonna be 2 tablespoons of water and 1/4 cup of milk. I'm gonna come in and help her whisk a little bit. She really wants to do it herself. That's her favorite thing right now. She doesn't want any help. Come off to the side here, and I'm going to, you're gonna actually, so even though that's 1 egg, you're actually gonna do a half of that. So 1/2 of your egg, 2 tablespoons of water, and 1/4 cup of milk, and then dump that into the bowl and give it a mix until it forms a ball. My dough was looking pretty sticky as I was mixing this up, so I actually grab an extra handful of flour here and just kind of give it an extra sprinkle. You want it to form into gather itself into a ball, and you've worked with enough, fake Pillsbury crescent rolls out of the jar. I'm really hankering for a high five. I do eventually get it. So that's the dough. We wrap it up and we chill it. Now we're gonna move on to our ladybugs, which was a really hard thing. We were trying to do this live, and what we ran into was that the kids just really wanted to eat the strawberries, which, you know what, is totally acceptable. And what I'm talking about a little bit here is that it's not as important that we do a perfect recipe with toddlers every single time we're cooking with them. Sometimes it's really just about them creating a good relationship with food and creating a positive environment where they can experience food and have a good time. So to do this, you're literally dipping the top of the head into the chocolate, and then doing the little spots on the back, and then we had sprinkles for eyes. So pretty easy. Little activity for them, and it was really tasty. Here we're busting out that refrigerated crescent roll dough, and we roll it out into a nice flat piece here. And I pull my first little piece. I actually put a little more flour on it. Again, our dough ended up being kind of sticky. And there's our slice of green pepper, and you just roll the green pepper up in it and tuck the sides around, and it ends up, when it's cooked, it looks like a caterpillar in a cocoon. So again, just getting a little bit of flour on it, getting your green pepper and rolling it up. Unfortunately, Vivie wasn't able to help me a lot with this one because it's a really fine motor kind of thing. And that's kind of what they look like. And now we say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You say bye.